Asshai-by-the-Shadow is the most mysterious and least understood city in all of A Song of Ice and Fire. It stands at the far edge of the known world, older than Valyria, older than Yi, and possibly older than any human civilization. The maesters avoid writing about it. Sailors dread approaching it, and those who claim to know its secrets rarely agree on anything except this: Asshai is not a normal city. Its origins, its magic, and the shadow that lies beside it may hold the key to the world's darkest history, including the Long Night, the rise of dragons, and the oldest religions in the world. Today, we break down everything we can truly say about Asshai. Hello everyone, and welcome to Storyteller's Codex. Here we delve deep into the rich lore of the Lord of the Rings, A Song of Ice and Fire, and the vast worlds beyond. On this channel, we blend the soothing power of cutting-edge technology with the timeless knowledge of dedicated storytellers. That's us, the voices behind the Codex. Settle in, relax, and enjoy. Asshai is built entirely of a strange glossy black stone unlike anything found elsewhere in the world. It seems oily, almost fused, and utterly impervious to tools or weathering. Some believe the stone predates mankind. Others claim it was shaped by magic rather than chisels. The city is enormous, far larger than its tiny population requires, with vast abandoned districts and roads wide enough for giants. There are no children in Asshai, no animals, no plants. Everything must be imported. Even shadows behave unnaturally here, stretching long and thin in ways that defy sunlight. Asshai feels less like a human settlement, and more like an artifact left behind by something ancient. East of Asshai lie the Shadowlands, a region so corrupted that almost no reliable accounts exist. Here, beasts are twisted, plants glow faintly in the dark, and strange ruins dot the landscape. Travellers speak of the Demon Road, a path so perilous that even shadowbinders avoid it. Some stories describe winged shapes, scaled horrors, or things that move like men but are not men. This is also where many theories place the origin of dragons, long before Valyria ever learned to tame them. The closer one travels toward the shadow, the stronger magic becomes, and the less the natural world behaves as it should. Asshai-by-the-Shadow stands on the border of this corruption, a sentinel city beside a realm no map truly explains. Far to the east, long before the first men crossed into Westeros, there may have existed a civilization known as the Great Empire of the Dawn. Their rulers, the Pearl Emperor, the Jade Emperor, the Amethyst Empress, were said to be demigods. If these legends contain even a fragment of truth, then Asshai sits at the western edge of their domain. Some texts hint that the black stone of Asshai is the same material found in other ruins attributed to this age. The sea stone chair of the Iron Islands, the oily black stone in Yin, and the foundations of Leng. The implications are enormous. Asshai may not only be ancient, it may be one of the earliest surviving remnants of the first great human, or even inhuman civilizations. According to Eastern chronicles, the last ruler of the Great Empire was the Amethyst Empress. Her brother murdered her, usurped her throne, and proclaimed himself the Bloodstone Emperor. Under his rule, the empire descended into horrors, necromancy, cannibal feasts, torture of holy men, and the worship of a red bleeding star that had fallen from the heavens. Many scholars believe this blood betrayal triggered the Long Night. The Bloodstone Emperor's power base, according to myth, lay in the far east, near Asshai and the Shadowlands. This places Asshai at the heart of the greatest catastrophe in human history, and it suggests that the city's darkness did not emerge naturally, but was shaped by a tyrant who sought power in forbidden cosmic forces. Deeper within the Shadowlands lies Stygai, a ruined and forbidden city said to be even darker than Asshai itself. Few who enter Stygai ever return, and those who do are broken, silent, or changed. Many believe Stygai was the Bloodstone Emperor's sacred city, built to honour the fallen red star he worshipped. Some legends claim the meteorite itself lies buried beneath its foundations, radiating corruption into the land. If Stygai truly marks the impact site of a cosmic object associated with blood magic and apocalypse, it may explain the unnatural characteristics of the Shadowlands, and why Asshai, so close to it, became a centre of dark sorcery. Stygai is the place where even shadowbinders fear to walk. Asshai is the crossroads of nearly every form of magic in Essos. Shadowbinders live and train here, capable of manipulating darkness, glamours and visions. Warlocks trace parts of their arts to this region. Blood mages practice openly. Alchemists study substances unknown elsewhere. And the Red Temple sends its most gifted followers to Asshai for instruction. This includes Melisandre, whose powers combine fire and shadow. Asshai lore teaches that shadow cannot exist without light, that fire and darkness are two halves of the same magical force. This hints at a deeper truth, that R'hllor and the power of shadow magic may share a common origin, possibly linked to the same meteorite worshipped by the Bloodstone Emperor. Asshai should not exist, at least not in any normal sense. The land produces no crops, no animals survive, no children are born, yet trade flows constantly into its harbour. Why? Because Asshai offers what no other place in the world can: forbidden knowledge, magical instruction, and arcane services. Merchants bring food, wine, metals, and slaves, receiving payment in gold, gems, or secrets. Nothing produced within Asshai is exported except magical expertise. In a sense, Asshai is a global marketplace for illicit power, a place where kings, priests, and sorcerers quietly come to seek answers they cannot ask for anywhere else. It survives not through life, but through fear, fascination, and the hunger for power. The people of Asshai are shrouded in mystery. Most wear masks and veils, not out of custom, but necessity. The air, the water, and the ambient corruption leave their skin pale, ashen, or visibly affected by the shadow. They speak softly, avoid the sunlight, and rarely display emotion. The city has taverns, inns, and markets, but all feel subdued, as though life moves at half speed. Even the Shadowbinders conceal their faces beneath lacquered masks. Children do not exist here, and families are rare. Most residents are wanderers, exiles, or adepts drawn to the city for its magical reputation. Asshai feels less like a city, and more like a hospice for those whose lives have already been claimed by darkness. The greatest prophetic archives in the world are said to reside in Asshai. Ancient scrolls, preserved tablets, and oral traditions stretch back to the Dawn Age, long before the rise of Valyria or the Faith of the Seven. From these records come many of the myths we recognise today: Azor Ahai, Lightbringer, the Bleeding Star, and the Return of the Darkness. Shadowbinders claim the Long Night began in the east, not in Westeros, and that the events of that age were recorded in detail by civilizations now lost. This makes Asshai a central hub for prophecy, the place where the past, present, and future intersect. It is no accident that Melisandre, Keth, and other prophetic figures have ties to Asshai. If the world is heading toward a second long night, Asshai may already know it. One of the most controversial theories in Essos claims that dragons originated not in Valyria, but in the Shadowlands. Travellers speak of immense fossil-like bones found east of Asshai, far larger than any known dragon. The fire and shadow magic practiced here predates Valyrian sorcery by thousands of years. Some believe the Valyrians discovered dragon lore by exploring the east, then adapted it into their own blood magic. Even Daenerys' journey has echoes of this idea. Early drafts suggest she was originally meant to travel to Asshai to learn the deeper nature of her power. Whether dragons were born from volcanic fire, shadow corruption, or something more cosmic, the Shadowlands remain their oldest rumoured homeland, and a world with dragons is always a world touched by magic. The priests of R'hllor maintain temples across Essos, but their most powerful adepts often travel to Asshai for training. Melisandre claims to have studied both fire and shadow, suggesting the two arts are branches of a single primordial force. Some speculate that R'hllor's divine fire is tied to the Red Comet, or to a meteorite that struck the Earth in ancient times, the same bleeding star worshipped by the Bloodstone Emperor. If true, R'hllor may not be a god in the traditional sense, but an otherworldly presence awakened by the comet's impact. This would explain why fire magic grows stronger near Asshai, and why the Red Temple relies on Asshai's archives to interpret signs of the Promised Prince and the coming darkness. In the East, belief in R'hllor is inseparable from belief in the power of the shadow. According to Yetish Chronicles, the first long night began not in Westeros but in the Far East, possibly in the Shadowlands themselves. The Bloodstone Emperor's reign, his worship of the Red Star and the spread of dark sorcery may have triggered the plunge of the world into darkness. If Asshai stands on the western border of this ancient disaster, then it is a city shaped by the trauma of the world's first apocalypse. The return of comets, dragons, and prophetic visions suggests a cycle repeating. Shadowbinders insist the darkness is rising again. Melisandre believes the war between light and shadow is approaching its final confrontation. And somewhere beyond Asshai, in the ruins of Stygai, the secrets of the First Long Night remain buried, waiting for the world to repeat its mistakes. Asshai-by-the-Shadow is not a city meant to be understood. It is a wound on the edge of the world, a remnant of civilizations that fell long before Valeria's first breath, and a gathering place for powers both ancient and dangerous. Its streets, its shadows, and its silence all hint at a history the Masters refuse to record. Whether Asshai is the birthplace of dragons, the refuge of prophecy, or the graveyard of the world's oldest empire, one truth remains: nothing touched by Asshai is ever simple. And in a story defined by fire and darkness, Asshai is the deepest shadow of all. If you are interested in The Lord of the Rings or A Song of Ice and Fire, click one of the links on the screen to dive deeper into the lore. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time.